Today I'm going to be going over some of the best color themes to use for your website. What different color combos are going to mean and influence with your business, and hint and push you along towards what is going to look best for what you're doing and what you want to convey. So we're going to be taking a look and addressing the surface layer of what goes into color schemes, how they're going to influence people, what they're going to hint at, and what you should be leaning towards for your business, for your website that will reflect your business. Let's start with emotions and colors. This whole study is called color psychology, what people associate and feel with colors and in what context, and it is a really interesting, fascinating area and kind of a rabbit hole you can definitely fall into. It's become a very utilized tool as well, where we've moved past just simple emotions that connected colors. We kind of have industries associated with colors now these days as well. We're going to stay very surface level of what people immediately think and feel, those emotions with a color, and what industry they're going to immediately connect to these colors. So we're just going to dive right in and look at each color. Red, immediately you get energy from it, passion, it grabs your attention, it's a very stimulating color. Red is often used in food industry. You also have sports, again, like bright color that feels energetic. Then you also have like kids, either their entertainment, their toys, just that younger audience. Orange is very creative a lot of times. Like red, it's got a lot of color to it. It's bright, it's out there. It feels optimistic, it feels very fun, higher energy as well. For these, it's going to be associated with art and entertainment industries. It is also going to be with sports a lot of times too. Yellow, classic happiness. It's a very bright, happy feeling. Our classic happy face emoji is yellow. You'll see that again in the food industries. Again, McDonald's is that red and yellow, but you'll also see it in like travel industries, things like renting cars or planning vacations. Green is going to represent a lot of growth and balance. It's of course the big color of nature. So this one will get associated a lot of times with, of course, environmental companies, but you'll also get banking with that and leisure as well sometimes. And you've got blue. Blue represents wisdom, a freedom, a calmness. A lot of times this color is used a lot in tech these days as well, but you'll also see it in, again, finance. We'll see it in healthcare and occasionally communication. Purple, it's a lot of times a spiritual mystery things, a little more imaginative, creative as well. You'll see this with a lot of religious, spiritual, that merge of company era where they're life companies. And you'll see it in humanitarian as well. Brown is stable, comforting, feeling very strong. It's used a lot in construction and legal. Next thing to consider with your website theme is, of course, now the color theme itself of how do we blend these colors together? How do we select which colors we want to use for our business? Color schemes with websites and businesses these days, I would suggest to stick to just 2 or 3 colors, keep it nice and simple. Now with that kind of restriction, I think the 2 main classical color schemes I would suggest would be going with complementary colors or doing an analogous color scheme. So we'll break it down. Complementary, I think a lot of us do know because it's pretty common. It is simply opposite colors on the color wheel, so it's going to be just 2 colors. Classics, red and green, yellow and purple, blue and orange. Keeps it simple, gives you a good contrast because they're as far apart as they can get, and contrast is very pleasing to people. There is an example of a complementary actually in use on a little mock-up website I've done. Here we've gone with a kind of reddish orange and a bluish green. Red is a lot of times associated with children with younger. Blue has a kind of youthfulness to it as well. And the website itself, it's played out, gone with the softer color that is the blue as kind of the overall, it's that background. You'll technically see it more. It's less harsh on the eye, so you can use it a lot more, and your red's going to be your accent color more. And an analogous color scheme is color schemes of generally 3 colors that are all right next to each other on the color wheel. So blue, yellow, green would be analogous. Or you can even get more detailed to be like a purple blue, a blue, and a green blue. That one is just immediately pleasing because they do blend together. They're right next to each other. There's not going to be clashing you have to worry about. Here's our little mock-up of an analogous website. This one I chose to do as a tech field, and I've just done two blues and then this green blue all right next to each other on the color wheel as our three colors for this scheme. And the dark is our more common overall, like the light blue was before too, where it's darker, it's not as bright in your face, so it's a great background, great to use more as it's not as engaging and harsh on the eyes. And our green is really our accent color here. So now we've kind of gone over the main issues, what colors are associated with, and just how you should put colors together. Let's look at some actual options here. Now, each square with the circles is a little color scheme that I have put together as some good examples. The background does count in towards the color scheme, as you'll see it's generally a very dark color or a nearly white. You could keep it, or you could take just the circle colors for most of these. Now with all these color schemes I've laid out, it's quite deliberately in these shapes. Each cut of the graph represents how much of the color you would be using. The smaller portions are obviously going to be more accent colors that are just here or there and little pops, versus bigger circles are more prevalent of the color. Looking at just the first one, I went with that classic complementary. That is a purple and a yellow, or purple blue and orange yellow. Choice of colors I would recommend for a travel agency. You've got that yellow that really contains travel, and the purple blue is kind of so dark it almost looks like a gray and black, that also in your mind kind of with a yellow thinks of roads. That next one is actually just the color scheme I used on our complementary example, here shown in just the scheme example, but this could also be used for possibly a communication angle, pulling more on that blue communication connection. I would suggest toning down the red in that case though. Our third color scheme is that gray, yellow, and black. Like I mentioned earlier with the purple one, this would also be great for travel, but just general business agency as well. Our fourth color scheme, these are all different purples and would be an analogous color scheme here. With this color scheme, I would recommend for like a craft shop, or go back into that humanitarian spiritualism business as well. For the fifth one, this is an analogous one as well, just in red and oranges here. This selection I would use for an entertainment industry or like a fresh brand. For the sixth one here, this is going to be more into a complementary. It's a very subtle one. These purpley black, creamy white. It would be great for business or legal companies, as being so plain, it gives you kind of no nonsense feel. For the seventh one, we have an analogous again of different greens. This one's going to be great for the classic natural companies, very eco-friendly forward companies, but it would also be great for healthcare ones. Next one, back to complementary, we've got that blue and orange. This one, still recommend. It's a bit more of a daring color scheme, just letting people know it's very high on that contrast, and it would be perfect to sport for child ones again, for an energetic industry where you want attention. And the last one is an analogous again, straight blue colors. And this one will be great for, again, the classic tech. You've got that communication that this will be great for as well. Color schemes and color psychology is a big, interesting field to read into, but easily get lost in as well. So if you're just trying to start up and just want to know what's going to be best for you, I would say consider these options. These are things that are proven to evoke these emotions, the color schemes that are proven to look good together, and it's going to make you look good and professional. So take all of this, apply it. Let me know if you have any suggestions of your own what color schemes you've loved or themes you've used to help you pick out for your business, let me know, and we'll see you around.